All right. So I don't know if we have anybody here yet. It's right around noon. Hopefully you all can hear me. I see a couple people in here. Hope you are having a good week so far. Today is Wednesday. I had to think about that for a minute. So I'm really wanting to do these on a weekly basis. I will tell you, it's funny because I thought going into the summer with my girls getting out of school that I'd have more free time. And it's funny, I was talking to my wife either last night or the night before. Gotta love the pop ups. Either last night or the night before. And I said, it's crazy. It seemed busier when the girls were in school. Steve, TCB since 73. How you doing, buddy? I've had you on my mind, man. I hope you are recovering well at home. Um, I talked to David from Japan, Elvis Presley in Japan, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I think it was right when you first got home. Um, on the when you first got home from the hospital, and I hope you're doing well. Graham, what's up, buddy? You were able to make it 2 a.m. there. I was off with the time frames. I said it was about 9 p.m. Yeah, it said you were 15 hours behind me. Curtis, what is up, buddy? Tony, first time I've caught you live. I'm still in work yet. Cool. Well, I'm glad you could join in. Jonas, hope you're doing well. So yeah, man, it's really popped up. It went from 2 to 8 and literally in just like 2 seconds. Um, so yeah, I don't really have like any type of agenda or anything that I had planned. I think to kind of quote Elvis, Marco, what is up, buddy? I kind of miss when Elvis first went back on stage. He said he missed the that intimacy with a live audience from doing his movies. I have missed, and I've said this before, um, that I enjoy doing the live streams more than I do making videos, because you all interact. James, what is up, buddy? UK, watching from the office. 5 p.m. where you are. Yeah, it is. It's 12. So yeah, it's weird. This across the ocean, you guys are only 5 hours ahead. Steve, I'm glad that you're in your rehab, and I'm glad you're feeling better. I was concerned about you, as many here that watch your channel. It is great to have you back. Um, I saw where you said you were getting ready to receive your How Great Thou Art FTD set. Jonas, why isn't there a lot of footage from his 1969 concerts? He was on top there health wise. Yeah, you know what, Jonas, it's funny that you say that. I'm surprised that the Colonel, you know, the, with everything was a cash cow with him. Kamal, what is up from Instable? Man, I got people from all over. Very cool to have you all here. Um, Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. Glad to have you here, Steve. Good to see you here. Yeah, I got something I don't know what's been going on with my eye. I don't know what it is. I had surgery on both eyes separately. It wasn't like for cataract or for like correctional. I had not detached retinas, but detached, can't remember what you call it, but something in like the back of your eye, some things had detached. And it was two separate surgeries over like maybe 10 months apart. But I still have problems with this right eye every once in a while. Richard, how are you, buddy? Yeah, I heard you guys. It's Category 3 storm. I heard down there in Florida. 125-mile-an-hour wind. So hunker down, Richard. Stay safe, buddy. Praying for you all. Actually, this morning during when I had my quiet time, I said a prayer for the entire state, all the counties that are in harm's way. They're saying it's an historic hurricane. So, Jonas, will we ever get the entire Austin Butler concerts? I didn't know he did concerts in Las Vegas. Interesting. Did not know that, Jonas. But Jonas, getting back to your original question, yeah, there's really no professional footage of Elvis in concert video wise in 1969. And it's odd because it was Elvis's return to performing in 8 years. The last one he had done was in February, March of '61 in Honolulu. And you would have think that the Colonel would have capitalized on that and really, uh, made a live video or a concert video, something. Or of course, some of it was recorded. Most of it was recorded. You had the Elvis Live '69. I was just talking to a buddy of mine, Marcus, and more on him later. A good friend of mine, Marcus. Him and I were talking. We talk often, and he was saying how that 11 CD set. It's a nice set, but it's repetitious. The dialogue, a lot of it's repetitious. The song. Um, the song list, the set list was pretty similar, but Elvis was in great form and an equally great voice. Marco, the Colonel was good at making a buck. You got that right, but he wasn't a visionary at all when it came to filming, recording, and things like that, including album covers. Thank God MGM offered to shoot. That's the way it is. I am in total agreement with you, Marco. There was areas of Colonel Parker, in my opinion, that I think he was a great and genius marketing guy when it came to you know um, promoting Elvis. And every time a 45 came out, um, and you had the little banner at the bottom on all the 45s, upcoming albums and movies that might have been in the theaters at that time or were coming out. And the RCA catalogs and the inner sleeves. And he was a great promoter of things, all Elvis. But as far as, like you said, as far as why didn't he film that? Another big thing, why did they not professionally film the historic shows at Madison Square Garden? So Jonas, do we know how much Elvis earned per show? Jonas, I had heard how much it was. By today's standards, it wouldn't be much, but back when he was performing in the late '60s and '70s, it was a pretty decent amount. And yes, Jonas, he actually did get 50%. He got half of everything Elvis made from the time he started managing him in late '55 up until his passing in 1977. Yeah, to show you how absurd that is, artists in the past and even up till recently, I want to say their managers maybe get 10 to 12%. And even a lot of artists don't even like giving that much. So for Elvis to give him 50% was absurd. The Colonel lived in the moment and did think more than a few months ahead. Mark, that's the thing. Like, he was a good strategist, but he was a phenomenal marketing guy. So Graham, buddy, your first top 30 Elvis songs so far has been epic. I've loved it all. Great so far. What was it like finally getting to your top 10? Um, I'll be honest with you. When I was going through the 40, there was not like I thought there would be. So what I did is I actually looked up every single song that Elvis recorded. I think there was, I want to say 840 or 842 that he recorded. So I got that list. I went through. It was kind of painstaking. It didn't take me quite as long as I thought it would, but I went through, and that's what I did. And Ida, hello from Memphis. How are you, Ida? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, we got a nice little crowd here. A lot of nice people. I appreciate all of you. And those of you who might have caught this later, it's probably been 6 weeks since I've done a live stream. And kind of shame on me, but life is just, I have not been able to give to this channel the way I've wanted. And as I was saying before many of you got in here, I thought that with summer here and my girls out of school for the summer, I thought I'd have more time, but it was quite the contrary. I found myself to be more busy running errands with my older daughter. She had volleyball practice, that she had a couple of camps for a week, preparing for volleyball. This will be I can't remember if this is her third or her fourth year in volleyball, but yeah, so it's just been crazy. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Stupid I hate pop-ups. But running her to, back and forth to practice, and just really involved with them, which I'm a dad. It should be busy, but yeah, it was really busy in the summer. So they just went back to school on Monday. They are back in school. So with me having the house here to myself, I take my wife to work on my couple of days off. So I will have more time. I'm hoping to do this. It may not be every single week, but I want to try to do it at least till if we next summer do it live stream every week. Because I actually had a couple people. I just says I'm great, beautiful weather here. That's good. It poured its butt off here when I was driving into town to take my wife to work, and it was raining so heavy that I almost had to pull over. Like it was torrential, and I had to go to Home Depot and I had to pick up some party items for my daughter for her birthday. She turns 10 in a few days, and I had to just do a couple errands. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do it because it was raining so flipping heavy. And then once I got into this part of town, it kind of held off a little bit. So I went in, got what I had to do, talked to my good friend Marcus for a little bit. But yeah, it's been, things are dying down. Now, here's the flip side of it. My girls go to a private school and they have a lot of homework. So they'll be coming home with a couple hours of homework every night. I also help run on Sundays. I run the sound room, the video, the TV networks at my church. And I've been doing that for a little over a year now. They asked me to do that. I've partnered with another guy who's been doing it for like 25 years. So I've learned a lot on the visual and audio side of it. A lot of cool stuff. So I'm back at kind of like a sound booth, sound booth. I have the big window. I can see everything in front of me. I got all my channels and buttons and equipment. And it's really a lot of fun, but I'm tied up with that. Tonight starts, if many of you heard of Awan, it's through our church for the youth. So I'm involved in that. So yeah, just a lot of my time's taken up. I'm glad I can work from home, but yeah, I'm really hoping to really kickstart things with the channel, trying to get more videos out. And I don't know, I've heard from a lot of you. That's what really made me want to hunker down and do this, because I had a few people reach out and say, man, we haven't seen you on a live stream for a while. When are you going to get back to doing it? So I wanted to do one last week. Again, my girls getting ready to go back to school, was prepping for that. So I really wanted to do this. So it's really good to be back because I love interacting with you. Curtis says, what do you think on the next FTD LP that is coming out in October? Curtis, I think you're referring to the black. I don't know how I feel about this. In a way, I'm kind of annoyed. So apparently FTD released before Fun in Acapulco, they released From Elvis Presley Boulevard. And but it's supposedly, it was on blue vinyl. Supposedly, from what I'm hearing, it's confirmed it's coming out on black vinyl. And I don't know, it comes across as a bit of a money grab, but that's just my opinion. Steve says, what FTD vinyl would you like to be released next? Steve, if it was up to me and they came to me and said, Mark, what album would you love to come out with? Some of you already know one of my favorite soundtracks is Girl Happy. Love the soundtrack. It's a fun, upbeat album. Great music. It's very beatnik kind of vibey, but I love it. I love, I don't like how they sped up Elvis's voice on the title track, but on the FTD CD, they had the regular slowed down version. But Steve, I'm hoping that they release Girl Happy, or one of my guilty pleasures, Paradise Hawaiian Style. That's a great soundtrack too. Ida says, finally clear here. Glad to catch your live chat. Busy, man. I hear you, Ida. Yeah, I know all about busy. And then, then right after, in fact, I have two granddaughters. My oldest granddaughter turns 4 on the 1st. So let's say the 30th. So on Friday, she turns 4. And my daughter's planning her party. And then my youngest daughter turns 10 3 days later. So it's just been busy. Yeah, Curtis, Spin Out would be nice. I love Spin Out. Graham, I'm with you, man. I just, Girl Happy just resonates with me. It always has. I do have a mint mono original pressing of it on the white RCA logo at the top with Nipper. But yeah, I love it. I have the FTD CD, so I hope and they will. It's not even a thing where you say you hope it will. It will be out eventually. When, I don't know. And you're going to see more sessions. I'm sure you're going to see the GI Blues sessions. You're going to see the Promised Land sessions on FTD. Steve says, dumb idea to re-release it on black. will they redo all the other color vinyl FTDs? Steve, you crack me up, buddy. Richard, I wonder, when I said Florida, Richard says, thanks, Mark. I live in South Georgia, but we're getting a lot of it. Yes, you won't be in the brunt of it, but you will. You definitely will see some of it, especially if you're in the south part of Georgia, because it's right above the tip of Florida, I'm assuming. So, yeah, you're going to get some of it. I talked to a gentleman, one of my customers yesterday, who was in Miami. And I asked him, I asked him if he was going to get much of it. And he actually said, no, just some heavy rain here and there. So I'm glad. But Richard, yeah, stay safe, buddy. I hope it's not as bad as what they're predicting, at least where you are. Jonas says, I think you should start an Instagram. I do have an Instagram page, actually. And again, I just have not had the time. It's amazing to me that people, and everybody's situation with family is different. But I did start a Instagram, and Elvis Instagram page. I have my personal one, and I started an Elvis one through a friend of mine probably 3 months ago. And to be honest with you, as crazy as I've been, I've only been able to check it. The last time I checked, I think I had like close to 300 followers, which grew quick. I only had a couple, and a friend of mine helped get the word out, a link to my Instagram page. And yeah, it kind of blew up a little, not blew up, but it went up to a couple hundred, then 300 within the last like couple weeks. But yeah, I do got to put more content on there, and that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping that once things kind of settle down, I have some time at night, I can do it. Marco, I come from a film background. I had a YouTube show. I got over 1,000. He says Marcus says he's busy, 3 kids in travel sports. Yeah. Dude, I hear you, man. Like you're talking to the choir. It kills me that I can't get on YouTube and participate. Yeah, it's tough. And I feel really, Mal, what is up, buddy? Yes, it is great to see Steve back. But going back to what Steve was saying, TCB Steve was saying that he thinks it's stupid that they're releasing. It is, and here's the thing: the completists and people like Mal. I know Mal has every release on FTD, which is freaking phenomenal. I envy envy him, but yeah, if you're a completist and you have the blue vinyl, you're going to get out and get the black vinyl. And who knows, man, I'm a sucker too. I'll probably end up getting it too. But I have 2 copies. I have a sealed copy and I have an open copy, real low number when it first came out. So I have 2 copies of it. So I'll probably end up getting the black like a freaking dummy. Let me go back and catch up on the comments. Richard says, Mark, do you think they will come out with Follow That Dream on vinyl FTD? They will. Yeah, they will. I'm telling you, they're gonna squeeze every drop out of the machine that is FTD. I have no doubt about that. Like I said, you're gonna see like all the sessions. And the thing that's annoying about the sessions, and let me know if you all agree with it. The thing that bugs me about the sessions, I've heard several people comment on this as well, is they released the single or 2 CD FTD sets, 15, 20 years ago, like the GI Blues or Fun in Acapulco, Something for Everyone, Potluck. So you spent the money on that, and then they turn around and release the sessions. So you fork the money out to get that. So, and I'm a completist. I'm trying to get all of the FTD CDs. Last count, I was at 22. I was 22 CDs away from getting, I don't even know the exact number of the FTD CDs from 1999 to present, but I have them all. I had 22. And then yesterday, How Great Thou Art, and that new one that the Las Vegas from 74, that was released in the UK yesterday. So now I need 24. So the number jumped back up. Let me see. Graham says, Mark, yesterday I picked up the RCA 1987 release of Elvis, the Memphis record, double vinyl. The mixes. The mixes on the American soundtracks are different grade. Have you got it? I don't have that, Graham. I don't. I've actually never heard of it. There's so many releases out there. Mystery Train, how are you, buddy? George Music, how are you? Good to see you here. So Mr. Train, tell me your name again. You've been here on the majority of my live streams, and I can never remember your name. Is it George? Curtis is saying hi, George. That must be it. Hugh, how are you, buddy? Glad to see you here. Thanks for joining in. I really appreciate it. Let's see. George, if you are Mystery Train, maybe you can answer this. You said 206 FTDs. Is that the books, the albums, and the CDs, or just the CDs? I'd be curious to know that. Brad, I called you George. Brad, sorry about that, buddy. I saw Curtis say hi, George. I assumed, and that's right. And I should remember it. Brad Pitt is one of my favorite actors, so that should be easy to remember. But truth be told, you'll be on here next week, and I'll be like, Mr. J, what's your name again? I'm horrible at names. Absolutely horrible at names. I think a lot of live streams are boring, but I always stick to the end with you because you actually interact with me. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Okay, so Brad says 206 total FTD titles, including the books. Yeah, I don't know. If I was to guess, as far as the CDs, and that's including the regular single and double standard releases, the sessions, and then the newer like 3 CD concert releases. I don't know. If I was to guess, I'd say there's probably between 150. No, there's got to be less than that. If there's 200, if there's only 206, because I think they're up to 44 vinyls, and there's at least 20, 25 books out, if not more. Hugh, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. This is what I love. This is, like I said, I would take this over doing a video any freaking day of the week. I love interacting with you. You guys jump right in. You're enthusiastic. You participate. You don't sit there like a bunch of stumps. Like you get involved, and I love that. I love hearing from my viewers. I love hearing like what you have, what you found recently, news that come out. Like, you guys are awesome, and this is what I love. I love the live streams. That's why I want to do it. I honestly, I thought about doing this. And you can all chime in and chip in, tell me what you think. But oh, hold on. Brad says, I'm just talking about the FTD CD books, not the albums. Okay, that actually makes sense. He says, I've gotten, if I miss any of your comments, they're coming in fast and furious. It's not intentional. I am trying to go back, and I want to respond to every one of them. Hugh says, I've gotten pretty selective with FTD, but I'm glad the label exists even with all its issues. Yeah, like it's a churning, spewing machine. Like, every time I turn around, they're releasing something new. It's hard to keep up. So Brad did confirm it's just the CDs and the books. So yeah, so then with the books, so there's probably at least 170. Brad, would you agree with that? About 170 plus of the CDs. So if I'm 24 away, I have close to 150. Hugh, I am with you. It is so good to see Steve back and doing well. He says he's doing better. I want to just make sure, Curtis, I believe in you get more watch hours too. Yes. Just want to make sure I didn't miss any with you. Yeah, Hugh. So some of you know my story. So almost a year ago, actually last October, I didn't think I would, but the more time passes, I do. So I had every FTD vinyl, every one of them, but one. The last one I needed. So at the time, there was 42 out. I had them all. And the last one I needed was Elvis Jailhouse Rock, the first one, the first volume. And I was in the process of buying it. And my wife and I were doing some renovations. We put a new deck on the back. I told this story before. We completely redid our downstairs. It was a nightmare down there. It was more storage, but we put all new flooring in. So it's my gym, my office, and it looks fantastic. And it's also, I'm a Denver Broncos fan, as is my wife. So we made it kind of like all three, my gym, and I have some really nice gym equipment down there, and my office from when I work at home. And then we made it a Bronco theme with the orange, and it's really, really nice. We just did some upgrades. I'm an electronic junkie, so I got a brand new 65 OLED TV, paid cash for it. My daughter wanted a Chromebook for Christmas, paid cash for that. And I was able to do that by selling almost half of my FTDs, the older ones. But I tell you what, sometimes it's like a gut punch. It hits me. I'm like, man, what was I thinking? Because now they're going up way. I mean, they're $600-700 now, and I have a lot of them. I got a lot of them back, but I'm missing probably 14 or 15 of them, maybe total. Um, but yeah, a lot of them are the ones that they're just so hard to get. So maybe someday I'm hoping to one day get them all. But the CDs I made it a goal about a year ago. I started getting them. I didn't have many, and I'm like I said, I'm close to 150. But that's been a long process too. All right, let me catch up here. So Graham says, "Are you a bookman too, Mark? Do you like to pick up the Eric Lawrenson stuff and the Keith Alverson stuff?" So I had a lot of the Eric Lawrenson, and I prefer to stick with the FTD. I think the FTD books are well done. There's many I need. I have a lot of them, but I've gotten some of the new making of books. But I like the Eric Lawrence, and I have a couple of them. But I actually sold off many of them. I mean, they're good, but you can only. I was just running out of room. Now the Keith Alverson, I actually got his first volume, and he signed. He was gracious enough to sign it for me. That is an amazing book. If any of you don't have it, if you have it, you know what I'm talking about. And some of you even have the second volume, which I eventually want to get that one. That was, I think the first one is from 73 to 75. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And the second volume is 76 to 77. And Elvis didn't look as good. His health was failing badly. So a lot of those pictures that I've seen, they're tough. And it's only because of my passion and love for Elvis's music that I say that. I'm not saying it in like a mean or facetious way. It's just you look at it, the first volume in 73, 74, and 75, and Elvis is just so energetic. He put on a little bit of weight, but he still was just looked great. The jumpsuits were fabulous. And then towards the last couple of years, as many of you know, his jumpsuits, he kind of wore a lot of the same ones. And, you know, his health was just, was not good. But I do want to eventually get the second volume. Wait, Johnny, there he is. You're still at work. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up with the comments here. Elvis Cup guy. Wait, how are you, buddy? Thanks for joining in. So I'm not too far behind on the Marcus. There's my buddy Marcus. Gaudy jumpsuits. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of some of the later jumpsuits. A lot of people like them. But and I like the sundial suit. I do like the Indian suit that he wore. Um, the Arabian suit, the one he wore that a little bit. I wasn't a real big fan of that. There was one they called the rainfall suit where it was like wasn't a whole lot to it. It was all white, had like a V-neck, and it had like these droplets. Not a great one. But yeah, Graham, I agree. They're really good. Richard, I saw that. Richard Chambers says, "Yeah, Mark, there was someone on eBay. Yeah, there's still one from today. I think it's Blue Hawaii. It's a sealed. Well, the majority of them were. He said he described it. He was a very high rated seller. I think out of Italy. So yeah, Rich, I saw what you were saying, and he listed probably maybe a dozen, some of the older ones, and surprisingly, he got big money for some of them. Joseph, who has a channel here, he actually got the first volume of GI Blues, and he got Elvis Country. So it was described as brand new, never played. He had the hype sticker, but it was opened. But he got Elvis Country, I believe, for like $232 and like $25 to ship it. And then he got GI Blues, I think, for like $250 or $275. But Hot August Night went for like $420. I think Something for Everybody went for like $450. So yeah, the guy got paid, man, no doubt. But yeah, some of them really went for a decent chunk of change. Steve says, I picked up Girls on the tan level. It's a Canadian press. You know what, Steve? I think I have that same one. If I remember it, I think I have the tan label, and it is a Canadian press. Very nice pressing. Sounds really good. Hugh says, I find the jumpsuit books photos a bit repetitive. Keith Alverson's Elvis on Stage is pretty good, but without photographers getting better access, photos are always going to be samey. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, Johnny. eBay did get a good a good chunk. Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to catch up. And again, if I do happen to miss anything, please don't take exception. It's not done purpose. I am really trying to go through and see. And I have a lot. Wow, I have 32 people here. That's awesome, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. Wow. Um, Steve says the plunging neckline suits were a bad choice. I agree with you, Steve. I was not a fan of that. Marcus says exactly. This is Johnson. Thank you, Curtis. Yeah, Joe should get on soon. But yeah, I appreciate that, Curtis. I do. And then, yeah, that's the thing, man. Johnny, eBay gets such a chunk of the money. Stick a gun in your freaking back. Um, they do. So especially if you have a high price dollar amount, I want to say they get. And Johnny, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they get like 10 or 12%. It's a stupid amount of money cut that they get from people just for simply listing it. Marcus says the ones I also didn't get were the baggy sleeve. Yeah, there was the one. Maybe that's the one you were talking about, the totem pole. Where it's got like the two things on the side, and the one had like a white like part of the jumpsuit, and the sleeves were baggy and cuffed, and they were blue. And then he had another one that was opposite. It was blue with white cuffed with the puffy sleeves. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that either. Even as a kid, I didn't like it. So I'm with you there, Marcus. Eric, how are you, buddy? I just saw you pop up there. Hope you are doing good. Elvis78, how are you? Greetings from Italy. Wow, far away, man. Thanks for joining in. I really appreciate that. Sandra, a fan of Sandra says she is a fan of the plunging necklines on Elvis. Sandra, I get it. Yeah, Johnny, I know you sell. Wow, records are 14%, Johnny, if you sell them. That's insane. Yeah, man. eBay's going to get their cut, man. No doubt. They're going to get their cut. Brad says yesterday was MJ's birthday. Yeah. Marcus is a big fan of he's a big fan of Michael Jackson. Curtis says I love his jumpsuits from 70 to 73. Yeah, that's about the era. He had a lot of great ones, and now see, I'm more of a simplistic kind of person. I liked a lot of his jumpsuits from mostly 70. Um, because they were simplistic. You know, you had the ladder with the red suit. You had the concha with the one he wore with the black circles that he wore on. That's the way it is. You had the fringe, and then even in 70, he late 70. Um, I don't know. Like I just thought, even though they weren't as gaudy as the later ones, I liked the simplicity of them. I liked how they seemed to fit him better. They were more stylish, I just thought. And after from like 75 on, they just got too over the top. But here's the thing. It was definitely the times. You got to remember, disco was huge. You had the huge bell bottoms. Of course, most of his jumpsuits had the huge bell bottoms and the shoes. But yeah, it just as Hugh said, those early 70s plain jumpsuits, they were very stylish. 71, he kind of had they were a little bit more plain. 72 is when they really started picking up. But I like a lot of his jumpsuits in 72. In fact, my favorite, as those of you follow my channel, my favorite jumpsuit of all time, and it was a simpler looking suit, was the jumpsuit that he wore in Madison Square Garden for the Madison Square Garden, the afternoon show. My daughter's asking if I can pick her up soon. Yeah, so yeah. Let me catch up with these. So Hugh says Elvis being so slim and looking healthy and vibrant went a long way in comparison. Yeah, I agree. Bear with me, guys. I don't want to lose you guys. My daughter's texting me, asking me to pick her up. So she's not supposed to be on her cell phone, which I'll have to talk to her about that. Yeah, the one from the afternoon in the garden, that blue with the gold pleat. They call it the wheat suit. And he only wore it two more times after that. And he friended it to, or he gifted it. I should say friended it. He gifted it. He gifted this jumpsuit to a friend's wife who admired it. Mal says, after releasing Boulevard FTD, I've heard they may redo a King Creole on FTD. But that'd be awesome. I love King Creole. It's such an unheralded, to me. It's an album that doesn't get the love it deserves. Yeah, Hugh, the wheat suit. Graham says, I'm dying to buy at Elvis Fashion for a King, but I'm really struggling to find it available. What a book. Well, Graham, you may not like me after I tell you this. Sandra, I saw that about Elvis design, helping him, the Osmonds design their suit. I never knew that, but I actually saw a picture of it. So, Graham, I actually got a copy of Fashion for a King probably about 3 or 4 months ago. And I don't know, and maybe I'm not the norm. I was a little disappointed in it. It's a big book. It's heavy. It's 450. It's one of the FTD's biggest books. There were so many grammatical errors and misspellings, and it was an early book. It's from 2011. I understand back then their quality control was not like it is now. Like now you would never see that with an FTD release or a book. But it was bad. And there was so many out of focus shots. There was some great, great photos. And it is an absolute encyclopedia. There's so much good information if you can get through all the misspellings and make out what's something. Like, it was bad. I was like shocked just how bad how it was written. So it's like nobody proofread it, but there's a lot of great shots, jumpsuits that I had never even knew existed, never knew that he wore. But there were many, I'd probably say a third, maybe 40% of the book, just a lot of like out of focus pictures. And it just was not, in my opinion, and I wanted it bad. I wanted it so bad, that book, just like you did, Graham. And I got it, and it was a bit of a letdown, if I'm being honest. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, and Graham, I'm not saying don't get it. If you can find it for a decent price, I did get it for a good price. I found somebody over in, I want to say, Ireland. Somebody had posted it on social media that they had a copy of it, brand new. And I jumped on it, and I made an offer. And I think I'm probably going to floor you, but I think I offered 300 for it, including the shipping. But I've seen it go for $500 and $600. But I was a little bummed about it. Like it was well made in some areas, and other areas it wasn't as good as what I thought. And then I ended up selling it to somebody, and I actually got more back than what I paid for it, which is not. It doesn't happen to me often. Usually, when I sell something, I sell it for less because I don't want to drain anybody's pockets. Okay, let me. I'll make sure I don't miss anything. So Mal says, how great the art arriving tomorrow. Mal, very nice. Yeah, I'm going to probably order it in another week, as well as that other one. I still got to get I'm a little bit behind. I got to get, as far as new releases, I got to get the one in the Houston Astrodome, and the other one, the 3 CD set. I got to get that one. Got to order that too. Hugh says grammatical errors and spelling mistakes is a big Elvis thing. Evo Sodi. Or should that be Sonny, since they call Sodi West? That is funny, Hugh. Hey, Tracy, how are you? Well, I'm glad. Hey, I'd rather have you late than never. So, Tracy, I'm glad to have you join us. I really appreciate that. Hugh says, if you hold out for a good price, chances are you'll eventually find what you're looking for. Yeah. So I saw some stuff. I saw some today, and I don't know if I believe it. There's a post somebody put on Facebook, and I'm not saying it's not true, but somebody had posted that they got a copy of the Jungle Room sessions on FTD vinyl, sealed brand new. And they said they posted a picture of it, and it was pristine. It was still had the hype, it was still sealed tightly. Kyle, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, Brad says there's one for $482 on eBay Fashion Fit for a King book right now. Yeah, they're pricey, and that's actually compared to what I've seen it, Brad. That's not a horrible price, but it's a lot of money. Um, Stefano, how are you, buddy? Glad to see you can join us. Hope you're doing well. Colin Stefano joined us. What was I saying? Lost my train of thought just that quick. Sorry, guys. Crap. Yeah, if I lost, let me go back and see if I can pick up Sony West and the Aloha booklet. Oh, that's fun. Hugh, I just happened to see the rest of that. That is funny. Glad to see you're doing fine, Stefano. Life is busy here, but it's good. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Marcus. I knew I could depend on Marcus to juggle my memory. Oh, so anyway, getting back to the post. So they said, the post said something about, so glad to finally add this. I've been after this album for, a couple of years. Finally I got it at a great price. So there's several comments. You could see where somebody had left comments. So I clicked on it and somebody said, if you don't mind, what did you pay for it? And I don't know if I believe this. The person said they paid, I think they said 105 pounds for it. I'm like, come on now, seriously. Maybe they did. Maybe somebody was desperate for money. But that release, if you can find it for $400 or more, then you're lucky. So I don't know. I just found that hard to swallow. But Ida, have a doctor's appointment. I hope your doctor's appointment goes well. Stay safe, and we'll see you on the next stream. Hope you can join us next time. Have a good rest of your day, Ida. Hugh says Spin Out Blu-ray is out. Picture quality is apparently excellent. Yeah, I've heard they are. It is really good. I want to see them release more on 4K. I got the Blue Hawaii on 4K, and it looks, in a word, it looks spectacular, especially on my setup. Yeah, I think it would be nice if they released. They did re-release, the same company who put out the Blue Hawaii 4K. They also, before that, came out with King Creole, but it's on Blu-ray. But they say it looks fantastic. Now, here's the thing about 4K. Black and white movies, Maltese Falcon, Casablanca, they look unbelievable. And you're like, oh, black and white, they look good on 4K. They do. They look unbelievable. Deep blacks, vibrant whites. If 4K is the way of the future. It's actually not really the way of the future. It's been out. I think it's been out 7-8 years now, but more and more people are still slower to get onto it. And with the new TVs and stuff, they're coming down in price. They look phenomenal if you have a nice TV. All right. This is the most recent comment. So, yeah. So yeah, I definitely got to pick up. I got to get caught up on some of my. I said I'm only 24 of the FTD CDs away from getting the entire set. There's a few it's going to be hard to get, but let me catch up. Joseph, there he is. What is up? Oh, I was buffering. Did all you guys see that? I didn't know I was buffering. I didn't see any interruption here. Sorry about that. Out of my control, but sorry about that. I am doing good, Joseph. I hope Joseph is back. He's making videos again. It's so good to see him back. It really is. Joseph was the one I was saying that picked up Elvis Country. I'm a little jealous. The FTD LP got it for a steal. 230, 240, I believe. Tracy, the 4K is lush. King Creole on Blu-ray is wonderful too. Yeah, I do have it. I actually have a couple of copies. I inadvertently got a second copy. And yeah, it's phenomenal. Elvis 78. I love old black and white movies. Yeah, they look spectacular. Hugh says, I don't think any of the MGM films will get a 4K release anytime soon, if at all. That's a shame. Let's see. Curtis says, you need to use your income tax money for the FTD LPs. Laugh out loud. Here's the issue with that. I shared that with my wife. My wife is actually really great about it. She doesn't get on me too much. I have toned it down. In the last 6 months, I've toned my buying down severely. I've gotten way more selective. So yeah, she would have something to say with that if I blew her tax return on records, especially Elvis records. Hugh says HDR really makes black and white rich in 4K. They do, Hugh. You nailed that perfectly. It really does. Marcus says, I promise Mark and everyone, King Creole is finished in 4K and will be out soon. I've seen it. It's awesome. Really, Marco? That is awesome. It needs to be out on King. King Creole is, in my opinion, as far as Elvis's performance overall, it is his best movie. Not even a question, at least in my opinion. It's a shame that he couldn't continue with the serious roles. He was sprinkled in with some musicals and some comedy, but Colonel Parker saw cash and soundtracks. But it is a shame because King Creole, man, it just showed what a natural actor he was and just how good he could learn his lines and just act it out. Phenomenal movie. So yeah, if it comes out on 4K, I'll pre-order that baby the second it comes out. Good to know, Marco. Thank you for letting us know. Yeah, Joe, you did. You got some great buys there. Elvis 78, I love him in Jailhouse Rock. You know what? I want to shock a few of you. I'm going to sit back a little bit. I want to shock a few of you. I have never seen Jailhouse Rock from start to finish. I've seen parts of it, but I've never seen it from start to finish. I really would like to fire it up and say it. I think it would be I've heard great things about it. Hugh says King Creole Flaming Star. Flaming Star, he was, yeah, because it was another, I think was that his last serious role? I think it was 1961. Wild in the Country was also, I guess, considered a serious role for him. Wild in the Country is another one I've always seen parts of. Elvis 78 says, especially because he played a distant role. Tracy says, color me shocked, Mark. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it shocks me too that I've never seen Jailhouse Rock all the way through. It's funny. I've been an Elvis fan just about my entire life, so over 50 years, and there's a few movies of his I've never seen, which I'll go over in a second. Richard, it's funny. So Richard says, Mark, and I did, Richard. Mark, did you see on eBay Elvis's Back is selling for over $1,200? Now that is stupid money. I don't know if it's already sold. I checked yesterday. It's been up for about maybe a week and a half, 10 days. Yeah, it's a mint copy. All indicators when I've seen it in the picture. It's nice, tight sealed. High rated seller too, but he's asking $1,200 for it. He's never going to get that. I don't care. He's not going to get 12. If he does, then people are crazier than I thought they are. I've seen Elvis's Back recently go for maybe the $600 range, but this guy's asking double that, and I don't think it's going to move unless he drops his price, and I think he's going to have to soon. Graham says, not surprised at all. I've never seen The Trouble with Girls yet in full. I haven't either, Graham. Wild in the Country is one of my favorites. Yeah. Stefano. I've never seen Charo either. That's one of the ones I've never seen. Tracy, I agree. It is fun to watch Elvis on a rainy day. Joe says, I do like Charo as well. I've never seen it. I heard it's a good movie. I've heard other people say it's not one of his best. But I think it's cool to see Elvis in a dramatic. So, yeah, I said his last dramatic role was Flaming Star, but no, it was Charo. Curtis, is that original Elvis's Back? No, Curtis, it's the FTD from 2010, I believe. It's the FTD Elvis's Back with the font in pink. It's got the pink hype sticker. Another one that I had that I sold like a dummy, but like I said, helped really, do a lot of things in this house. And I got a freaking slamming TV, a nice TV, top of the market LG OLED TV. And but yeah, there's sometimes I really kick myself in the teeth for getting it, but I'll get off that subject because I kind of get mad at myself. Let's see, make sure I have it made. Steve says, apparently Charo was supposed to be a much more adult film. But after Elvis agreed to do it, they took out all the best scenes. We talking nudity, which for 1969 that was probably bold, but nudity was starting to get more of a kind of a bigger, in a word, no pun intended. It was getting more exposure. Right around the late 60s, you had more of it. Not like you do today, but you had more of it. Joe said it is worth to see it. Yeah, I'm hesitant to buy a lot of these on Blu-ray because I'm afraid I want to turn around and in 2 years' time, they'll start putting them all out on 4K. Because I think a lot of them are going to come out on 4K, but who knows? Who knows? Everything's coming out on 4K now. Every week there's a few that have come out. Hold on, crap. Hold on. Okay, so these comments pop up fast and furious. So Elvis 78 says, but in 1969, people were almost tired of him in the movies. Shame, because I like his last movies. Yeah, I'm the same way, man. I know a lot of people don't like the soundtracks. They don't like his movies. I'm not one of them people. I like, there were a couple that were pretty rough. The one movie that I really enjoy listening to the soundtrack, but I'm not a big fan of the movie, it's really over the top goofy, is Kissing Cousins. Elvis in that freaking blonde wig, like, what were they thinking? Like, you want to talk about low budget, but I love the soundtrack. Had it as a kid, and as an adult, I love it today. Frankie and Johnny, I don't mind the soundtrack. I'm not a fan of the movie. Stefano says back in Memphis album. Stefano, you asking if I have the FTD of that or just in general or what I think of it? Sorry, Stefano, just checking sure. Hugh says Charo came about because a spy film Elvis was going to star and ended up in a legal dispute and it couldn't get into production. Did not know that. Never knew that. Spy movie. Spy movies were big around that time. Joe says, never seen Kissing Cousins. I mean, it's not horrible, Joseph. It's not a horrible movie. It's just not one of his best. The premise is really, it just didn't fit for me. Another movie that was really goofy was it Easy Come, Easy Go with the yoga? Yeah, that movie didn't. That was goofy too. Never seen Kissing Cousins. Yeah, and but Mal, to kind of run off what you just said, a lot of them I really do like. There's just a few of that I don't know, it just didn't hit me. Tracy, I think that each of the movies has some great gems. Love those movies. And Tracy, you hit on it. You're all hitting on good points. You bring up a good point because some people despise certain, like I've heard a lot of people, I can't stand Frankie and Johnny. That never sees my turntable. Can't stand Paradise Hawaiian Style. Can't stand Clam Bake. Every one of his albums, regardless of how bad some of them are, there's highlights on every one of them. Frankie and Johnny actually, I think, has quite a few songs I really like. Some bad ones for sure. Paradise Hawaiian Style, same thing. Bad ones, but there's a lot of great songs on each of those albums. Hold on. So Elvis 78 says, I agree about Kissing Cousin. Guess what? I don't like Harem Scarum, but I like the soundtrack. Many hate it. It's funny you say that. I'm kind of the same way. Harem Scarum I haven't seen all the way through. I've seen the majority of it. I've probably seen 90% of it. I remember seeing it as a kid and I missed, I don't know if I had to go to dinner. I don't know what I had to do, but I missed like a middle part of it. But I remember not being really drawn to it. But I'm the same way. Harem Scarum is one of those kind of guilty pleasures. There's a few that aren't bad, but I think it's a really solid soundtrack. Graham, you're funny. Graham says, Mark, I got to tell you, dude, Yvonne Craig and Kissing Cousin is one of the best looking women. You know what's funny? You know what movie where she is absolutely drop dead gorgeous and stunning in is It Happened at the World's Fair. The scene when Elvis is at her parents' house and he's kind of all over and she's kind of resistant when he does the Relax song. Yeah, she was, for her day, man, she was definitely a looker. I agree with you. Kissing Cousins, she looked good in too, but it happened to the World's Fair, man. She was definitely something to look at. She was talented. She was really good, although it was campy. She was really good as Batgirl in the Batman, the '60s Batman series. She did well in those. Loved those as a kid. I can't really grasp it now as an adult because it was so campy. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't look away. Okay, Richard says I enjoyed Change. Yeah, Change of Habit was a good movie. There's some great songs. Change of Habit is a great song in general. Stefan says Clambake, love the beautiful songs. Harem Scarum sounds so cheap, but I like many of the songs. So close yet so far in Paradise. Paradise is marvelous. Yeah, there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good songs on that album, in my opinion. Steve says, heard a lot of the lesser soundtrack songs on Camden's first. I didn't know that they were from films. I thought they were great. Again, I love the Camden, especially the U.S. releases, and I've gotten a lot of the U.K. releases. They're fantastic too. A lot of them are recycled from the and UK have them on their albums. A lot of different albums. The U.S. Mail, the U.K. Camden is a phenomenal record. One of my favorites. Love some of the covers. They have a lot more than the U.S. release, but I'm a huge fan of the U.K. or the Camden records in general. The low budget, as they're called. Let's see. Got to really catch up with all these. Okay, Joe says, I've actually been enjoying Clam Bake past week. Yeah, it's funny. We're talking about class, talking with about Clam Bake with a friend of mine, saying that that's actually not actually one of my least favorite soundtracks, but everybody likes something different, I guess. Curtis says she was great in Batman. Yep, she sure was, Curtis. Tracy, the plot line in Harem was pretty weak, but Elvis lifted it a little. Well, Elvis was a star, so he would lift anything, I think. Tracy says, oh, I read that one. Yeah, the plot line in Harem was pretty sad. It was pretty bad. There's later movies where, ooh. Curtis says she was in Star Trek too. Oh, didn't know that. You know what? She was in the green makeup, I think, Curtis, right? Yeah, I think she was during the original Star Trek run. Hugh McKenna says those Camden LPs were really popular. Yeah, that were my first ones. My first LP was Elvis Sings Burning Love and Hits from His Movies. I got it when I was 5 years old. The blue label, the blue Camden label. Trying to catch up with these. He says, I think I agree with you. Some of the Camden LPs had better covers than the main album covers. I love the cover of Come On Everybody. Love the Flaming Star cover from Stay Away Joe. Yeah. Now says Shelley Jenner Rusty, the best three Elvis movies. Yeah, Rusty. I tell you what, man. Anne Margaret and her heyday and Bye Bye Birdie and then Viva Las Vegas, man. Whew. I can tell why Elvis fell for her and hard. So Hugh says, I might be stating the obvious here. No, I read your comment. It's not obvious. I didn't know that. But you know that Clambake is basically a modern version of The Prince and the Pauper. I did not know that. Oh, Graham. Oh, I got to get some shut eye. Yeah, it is early where you are. Thanks for coming on. I'm glad you were able to catch it. Good to see you. And Graham, always good reading your comments on my videos. Thanks for your support. And I will talk to you soon, my friend. Marcus says he's going to go. Going to go make lunch. You make me some lunch too, Marcus. Marcus, by the way, if you're still here, Marcus is actually good buddy of mine, good guy. He is actually going to be my editor, and I'm calling him my producer for some of my other videos where I like put some different video content together. So he was kind enough to offer to do that. So I'm very, very, very happy about that. He's finished my intro for my videos and sent it out to me, and he did a great job on it. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, recently picked up the original sealed Moody Blue for 15, so I'll have 3 copies. One is the re-release, different catalog. Yeah, the black U.S. version, the black vinyls, they say is really hard to get. Believe it or not, it's like A Dog's Life from Paradise Lifestyle. Tracy, you know what? Tracy said, have you reviewed Reinventing Elvis yet? I have not, and I need to. I won't say much here because I'll leave it for the review. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I saw it because I have, is it Paramount Plus? Yeah, I think it's Paramount Plus. Um, because a lot of streaming services, Disney and Max and all that, whenever they stream it, it's available in your time zone right at midnight the day of. Well, I was there at my TV ready to watch. I was going to stay up till it was over. It was roughly close to 2 hours. Midnight rolled around on the date. I think it was August 15th that came out. It was premiering, and it wasn't available until like 7 or 8 a.m. And I was getting ready to start for work. So I watched it. I'm going to watch it again. And then I will do a review, Tracy. That'll be coming up. I did not do a review, but I will. Thank you for that idea. I appreciate it. So you guys are awesome. I got lucky. Yeah, I like the I got lucky. Nancy, there she is. Nancy always asks about Ginger. She is good. She's actually down in her kennel, not locked up. We always keep the gate open, but that's her. That's her safe space. It's down in my office and gym areas to the side. She has a real big kennel, and we always leave the door open. We have her and big fluffy blankets and stuff in there with her, and she likes to go down there. She's scared of this tripod. I don't know why. She's terrified of it. And she's not like a skittish dog, but yeah, whenever I pull this out, man, she's like, see ya. She goes downstairs, but she's been down there all morning. I've tried to get her to come up, but she won't. But she's doing good. Nancy, she is a sweet girl. She's our baby. Um, Elvis 78. I don't remember the name of the movie. Anne Margaret is a great and complete artist. Yeah, she's real good. She got her start in I think in '63 with Bye Bye Birdie or '62. Steve says it's worth Elvis recording It's a Dog's Life just for the outtakes. I've heard that. Tracy says she was in Grumpy Old Men. Yeah, she was a little bit older, but she was still a pretty lady. Curtis says, I hear Sonny and Cher had their role for Speedway, but they turned it down. I never heard that. I always learn something new from you all. Graham says, see everybody. You guys are so cool. Yeah, you are too, Graham. I appreciate it. Hope you have a great day. Yeah, Elvis 78. If you can see Reinventing Elvis, it really dives deep into the making of the 68 special. Um, it rips on Parker a lot, which I had heard from other people who saw it in the theater that Parker took one in the below the belt, which, not that he wasn't deserving of it, but it really talks about the production, the numbers, some of the scenes that were edited out. Him with the blonde, I can't remember her name, but it was the Let Yourself Go, where she was kind of like hanging on him, and NBC that hit the cutting room floor because they said it was uh, too steamy for TV at the time. So yeah, I can understand that. But when they re-released it years later for the anniversary, they did put it back in. But it talked about that. It talked about, how Colonel Parker, really wanted the Christmas special, pushing that, wanted to make sure Christmas songs was in it. But um, Steve Bender basically said, up yours, we're doing it my way. And Elvis was in agreement. It's the one project that I think Parker's hands were really tied. I think it really frustrated him because he had total control over Elvis before and after, even up to his passing. So, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, and you can see it on, like I said, I have a pretty large TV. It looks spectacular. It looks like it was just shot yesterday. It's so bright and vivid and colorful, but it's just under 2 hours. But I won't give it away. But the ending is phenomenal. Let's see. So I'm going to go roughly about another 5 minutes. I got a text from my daughter. She wants us to, when they finish school here in another hour and a half, she wants me to pick it up, but I gotta take care of a couple of things before I do that. So I'll stay on like I usually like to do this for like an hour if I'm doing this every every week. Let's see, I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Marcus says MGM is owned by Amazon now, so getting 4K disc might be tricky. I only hope it's Baz. Yeah, I agree, Marco. Tracy says, saw it on the big screen. It was fabulous seeing him in all his glory. And I will tell you this, for my money, of all the years Elvis performed, recorded, did anything in front of a camera, for my money, 1968, he looked his best. The 68s, which was just simply called Elvis then, it wasn't called the 68 or the comeback special, which I always find. Can you guys hear me? A call came in, and when it did that, it knocked out my connection, and then it muted my mic. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Susan Henning, yes, Elvis 78, the blonde girl. I'm terrible with names. I told you I was terrible with names. Yeah, Tracy, I agree with you. I liked the scene where he sang Memories. I never knew that the girls on either side were sisters. Where he sits down and there's a girl on either side, and you're like longingly looking at Elvis. And I love that. So that I won't give it away, but Memories is an awesome song. Top 40, that's all I'll say. But yeah, I don't think they interviewed, correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy. I don't think they interviewed both sisters. It was just the one sister. And all these years later, because she was pretty young, I think the one girl was like 19, her sister was like 21. I think the girl sitting to Elvis's right, which if you look at the camera, will be on the left, but it was Elvis's right. I think that was the older sister, and the girl to his left was the younger sister, and they both got tickets. And what's really cool, and like I said, I don't want to give a whole lot away, but there's a part where they said that they to get people to come in for the live sit down part, they actually had to go to like a local coffee shop and round up people and said, "Hey, we're filming Elvis. He's doing some songs. Come see him." Crazy. You would think, yeah. But Tracy, I'm in agreement with you. It was a lot of people that were the dancers and people that were in the audience for those sit down live performances that gave interviews. It is exceptional. I knew I was looking forward to seeing reinventing Elvis, but I was surprised how much better it really, like it was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I am going to do a review. So great idea on that. I'm going to probably do that. What I'm going to do is rewatch it maybe tonight, and then I'll do my review tomorrow. Elvis 78. If only Elvis could really do creative things with right and creative people as Steve Bender. A shame Parker didn't allow many good products. Also a shame that he couldn't go overseas and perform. Kurt says, did you get anything new, Mark? Yeah, Curtis, he was phenomenal. Yeah, still got audio. So yeah, Elvis 78, Elvis 68 to 70 is his best. Yeah, Joe, I don't know if you're still here. I got a call in and like all the comments must have got backed up. So I just see your comment now. So yeah, I'll talk to you soon, buddy. Joe and I chat on our phones every so often, just the last couple of days. That's how I know how he got Elvis Country for the price he got it at. He's a good guy. I've missed him. Just a good person. Memories is a great song. Correct. Just one. Their father was part of the production team. That's right. That's right, Tracy. Yeah, that's how they got in there. And then one of them, I think, was like an intern. And it showed her today. Yeah, it was so well done. Elvis 78 says, do you think the documentary, if they're smart, they'll release it because I'll buy it. I hope they release it on 4K. Mal says, yeah, maybe by Christmas. All right. Well, before I go, I just wanted about a third of you have left, which I understand. This has been going on for almost an hour and 10 minutes. Before I go, I want to get an idea. I'm probably going to put it on my community page. I've got mixed. A lot of people really like the vinyl CD reviews, the FTD reviews. And then I've done a couple of videos that are out of the ordinary for me, like more of like videos of Elvis and history of some of the songs, and I had a lot of people say how much uh, how much they enjoyed it, and they're like, yeah, those are the videos you need to do more of. And I guess I'm just kind of, the name of my channel is Mark's Elvis for everyone channel, but that's what I want it to be about you. I don't want to do things that's gonna, bring attention to me or make me look good. I want to give you content that you enjoy watching and that you'll, even come back and watch later. Because sometimes I'll do that. I'll go back and watch Elvis channels that I watch. I'll go back and watch their videos a second, even a third time if I enjoyed it. So I want it to be content that I'm not going to make videos just to make videos. I refuse to do that. I want to make them interesting, if anything. But um, and the subscribers, as many as I have, that's not what I'm concerned about. My views have dropped way down, but it could be because I haven't been doing them as consistently. And I think the YouTube algorithm kind of don't put them out there as much. But I think another one is maybe, and you're not going to hurt my feelings. I want what you guys want, but um, I just want to put out good content that you'll watch and that you'll enjoy. And so if you want to, leave a comment, not least, I'll probably put something out on my channel, um, and just try to get an idea of what you all want to see more of, because that's what it's all about. So, Mal, have a good one. Take care. So yeah, it looks like some people are signing out. Kind of goes back and forth. Um, so I think I'm going to sign off too. Like I said, I'm looking to do this again, hopefully next Wednesday, um, possibly next Wednesday. If not Wednesday, maybe Thursday. But I always put it out the night before, the day before, to give you advance notice when I'll be doing the stream. But I love these. I love doing the streams. I love seeing your comments and the interaction between you and I. And like I said, I couldn't do this channel without your support and without your time that you put into it. It means a lot to me. I know I'm kind of beating a dead horse, but um, yeah, Marcus said, could you do a music live? Yeah, I did. The thing with that is you got to be careful, only because you could be in midstream if it's a live stream. Because I did probably about 9 or 10 months ago, I did do what they call music listening party, where I listened to different snippets of music. I'd love to do that. So that might be something in the future. I'm looking to do more of the FTD CD concert reviews, the soundboards. But I'm just looking to come up with interesting stuff, interesting material. Yeah, feel free to put your thoughts out there. But as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll see you all real soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.